I spent the past year.
Morning, Kings in chat. Good morning, Pikachu, bro. My man. Welcome. Hey, Haskas. I'm being honest. I don't know how long I will last with spatial partitioning, okay? Seems like a big dick problem. We'll see. Frustrated today? Nah, I'm not frustrated. I'm tired. I'm an idiot. I do not sleep enough. That's all. I would like TCAP to tell me at least how is he doing spatial partitioning? Do you do something like this? Do you have right on top of the game state a struct world chunk, and then in the world chunk you have this. Hello chat, top chatters, yo ho. Holy. Is that what you have? And then in the game state, instead of this, you have an array of world chunks. A two-dimensional array of, I don't know how many should we have? Do they need to be this is bad. I don't think it works in a Vampire Survivors game. Because I can move the screen. If that makes sense. I can move very, very far away. Now what happens to the monsters that are very, very far away? Are they still being updated? Do they still move towards me? What about collision? You know? Give me 1 second. Gurfa just came home. Teuer, ne? Ist teuer, ne? Essen. Ja, gehen. So. In Visual Studio, another game, in Vampire Survivors, another game, enemies are teleported to you if you move too far away. To outside the screen borders, most, I think. I'd spawn a simple grid, or an adaptive quad tree if you wish, around the screen area, and assign enemies to cells at the start of a frame. That's simple, on a grid by division of the screen relative position. Let's spawn a simple grid. Assign enemies to cells at the start of the frame. Can I not keep them in the grid? And then when I update the enemy, the first thing I do is check if it's still in the correct grid. And if not, then I move it into, no, I need to put them in the grids first, and then I need to update all of them. So I essentially loop over all my units twice, right? I loop over all units twice.
Master. The calculations are in, and, the powers of your brain are overwhelming.
Where's the size of the window? And this is the screen. This is the screen. Then will an enemy be teleported or clamped to the... Will it basically be stuck here? If I move to the right, will the enemy, the moment the enemy crosses this border, it just goes into this chunk? And it's gonna stick here. I'm going to push the enemy to this position here. Teleport to opposing side. Over here? Really? Okay. So if an enemy is here, it's gonna be teleported over here. Is what you're saying. What if I want to do collision? Like, what happens? What happens though if I have two enemies? Like one enemy here, right? And then another enemy here. Okay, they collide. Now this enemy is pushing the other enemy out. Now he's here. Won't this enemy get teleported over here? And then, since it got teleported over here, there's another enemy over here. It's pushing him out again. Boom. And then he's being pushed over here again. Then what if this space is already occupied by many other enemies? What happens then? Like he keeps teleporting left and right, and how many times do enemies teleport? He never moves forward. By the way, do you skip rendering if they are too far off screen? I don't. Currently, I have no screen collision thing. I could skip the rendering, yeah. See what I mean? I mean, I guess I could just worry about it if it's a problem or not. But I have a feeling that they will just pile on top of me if I don't kill them fast enough. I will literally have thousands of enemies spawning, and if I don't kill them fast enough, but I can push them all away, then what do I do? They will all be like jumping next to each other until they fit. Like I could literally defer spawning enemies by creating like a freezing zone around me. And it would create so many enemies. Like this chunk would be so full of enemies that it would be overloaded at some point. I don't know if you can do that in Vampire Survivors, but you could literally freeze the entire screen almost, right? I'm not sure I follow the concerns. Well, if an enemy is outside the screen, you're saying that he's being teleported. What is the condition of the enemy being teleported? I think Vampire Survivors despawns enemies all the time as well if the timer progresses to new waves. Just being too far away. The directions the camera moves. Let's just use a grid and then draw a raster of the grid. For now. Let's just do that. So we have... That's my game. And we call that world grid. Huh? Oh, I don't have a two-dimensional array. I only have one array. Shit. Is that a problem? I'd rather have a two-dimensional array, so I have to create one. Oh no. I'm literally writing a template, man. Wait, I'm not adding and removing stuff from the array. There is no count. So I don't need to create an array at all.
Template poggers.
No. I literally just need to have a two-dimensional world chunk array. I suppose you could say set a const expression int or I vec2 world grid size is 6 by 4. I have a good idea. Rewrite the complete project in C. It's mostly C, bro. It's like a tiny bit. Multiple rects. Inside equals 1 render. Inside 2, no render. But keep. 3, no render, but keep move. No. 1 second. Anything else is deleted, and anything else is deleted. We'll see. Move 3 times speed. Oopsie. Huh? Okay, let's use this world grid. What are you talking about? Do I have to put the array stuff behind that? Syntax error, unexpected tokens. Do I have to do it like this? I don't, right? What am I doing wrong? After the name? No. Am I that? Am I literally that tired? That after programming in C++ for over 2 years now, I don't know where to put the array things. Okay, bro. Okay. Okay. Make sure we use the correct memory. Yeah. Draw the background. Yeah, that is. Okay, so this can go away, by the way. That's from yesterday. Switch on the game state. Select hero. It's an update level. Inefficient, find a better way. Yeah, later. Game state level up. When game state running level is update level. Okay, over here. Spawning system. This is where we want to slot. How do you call that? How do you call that when you put entities into different slots? What is that called? Just tuned in. What algorithm are we going for? It's just a simple grid, and I will have a simple loop that looks at everything in the game. And by the way, how do you slot these things? Insert.
Slotting poggies.
No, wait. It doesn't make any sense. Huh? Is it referencing indices? Is a world chunk just a giant int array thing? Pick up indices, damaging area, indices. Like, how do you I hate the word put. I hate the word put. Distribute. How do you distribute? Not distribute. Aufteilen. Aufteilen. English. Split up. How do you divide the units? Like, what do you use? Do you use identifiers? In my RTS Diablo code, my grid consists of tiles. Cells. Every tile can save up to 16 object IDs. What if you have too much in one tile? What happens? And by IDs you mean a reference ID to find the correct object, which would be an index into an array? What if that index... What if I kill an enemy off? Now the index is off. Now the index is wrong. Now everything... This is terrible. This is literally fucking ass terrible. It's fucking... It's dog shit. I think I'll do it like this. It's a 10 out of 10 solution. No, I don't mean that. I mean I'm literally going to have a copy of every single entity. Once in the chunk and once in the real game state. That's stupid. I need to have... And if I have get by ID, then at this point, why even have slotting? Now I need to find an entity. That makes literally no sense. So a world chunk should be like this. And then these overarching arrays do not exist. They go away. But I will not have duplicates like that. That makes no sense. That makes literally no sense. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. God, I hate these types of problems, man. I fucking hate this. I wish Decap was here and could tell me how he is slotting them or dividing them or splitting them up in his game state. I don't understand this at all. Like, how am I supposed to split this up? And if I have like an array of world chunks, then I need to loop over all world chunks and over all of these. And if something is no longer inside this world chunk, now I need to move it outside of this world chunk and insert it into another world chunk. So we have like a move operation here where we remove it from one array and move it into the other array, which is literally dog shit. But if I have IDs, now I have to use... Why put the array, entity array into world chunk? Let's go, there's one array in game state. Well, then the only other option is to use entity IDs. A quadtree that is relative to the player chunk. It's basically a screen. Partitioning. We are partitioning the screen into chunks. We are not going to use a quadtree here. We are using just a simple grid. We are using something like this. The screen is the green part, and the white things are the chunks. Maybe 300 by 300 is a bit too much. We'll see. Why am I always... What's the issue with IDs? Because I have to find them. And damaging areas, active attacks and pickups, they all don't have... I mean, I guess I don't need the active attacks and damaging areas. I suppose I don't need those. And maybe not even pickups. I don't know, merging pickups is a concern. Cakes, look at what I have now, Cakes. Dink donk. Imager. Oh, you have a background texture and then you have 2 more textures. Nice. Is that with my engine? Collector of stuff? You could wrap the entity delete, and when it swap removes the entity, they get swapped. Okay, I suppose we don't put this into a chunk. We just have this, and that's an int. Max enemies, enemy IDs. That's a world chunk. No, my engine is oop. I see. Flushed. People flush. Okay. Partition the enemies into chunks. 4 int enemy edx 0 enemy edx is less than. But real super cool. If I'm now updating my enemies, okay? After I have partitioned the enemies into chunks. Now I'm going over all the chunks and I'm updating the enemies, right? As far as I understand. And so when I'm updating a chunk, I get an ID for an enemy. Now I need to get that enemy out of the enemy array. Which is a long ass for loop. Could be at the very end. Get that ID. A random pointer to memory. Or a random memory location. Now I need to look at all the enemies in my quad or in my surrounding quads. Because I could be at the edge, right? Enemy ID is a slot in the array. Well, there's an issue though. If the enemy ID is the slot in the array, what happens when I kill an enemy? I have to have some sort of cleanup code afterwards. I suppose I could do that cleanup code here. Then I need to mark an enemy whose HP is below 0 as dead. But then an enemy could be hit multiple times with the same attack before he's dead. Is that a problem? He could be targeted. Keep the slot in the array empty and reuse it on enemy creation. Now the enemy creation happens before I update the enemies. Then I update the enemies and then so it would be like this. I partition the enemies in chunks. Fuck, man. Now I spawn a bunch of enemies. I then partition the enemies in chunk, which would get rid of the empty slots. But then I need to have a bool on an enemy that says it's dead. Because let's say I have a skill that's targeted, right? I have a targeted skill later on. Which is feasible, right? Can have that. What? That targeted skill could target a dead enemy if I don't have anything that says, oh, this enemy is dead. I only remove units in the assign enemy loop. I do not remove in between. In between, I check if unit health is greater than 0. Yeah. Yeah, there's something like that. If target is alive. And that would be the check if the HP is greater than 0. Yeah. Yep. Alright, let's try doing that. Game state enemies.count enemy edx ++. Get the entity, or is it enemy? Entity pointer. Enemy is the address of game state enemies on enemy edx. And then if enemy dot health is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, it's called game state enemies dot remove and swap enemy edx --. Continue. Health is not a member of, or is it HP? Okay, so that would make it so that the enemy is removed, and any other enemy that is still alive needs to be slotted into chunks. And I suppose I want to have more chunks than what we have currently. Let's say 100 by 100, and I add in another 200 padding. So that would be 16, that would be 18, would be 20 chunks on X. And since that is 9 plus 4, that would be 13 chunks on Y. Hey Cakez, how you doing? Hey Skull. Thanks for asking. I'm fucking tired, otherwise I'm doing good. I'll try to sleep more today, so I have more energy tomorrow. But yeah, already a heads up. I won't be able to do a stream tomorrow because my dad is gonna come over and we will pick up a bed. And we need to drive to a different city to pick up a bed for a friend. And driving there takes 1 hour 40 minutes. Almost 2 hours. And we're gonna start... We start driving there at 1 p.m, which is 2 hours before the time we have right now. 2 hours earlier than what it currently is. So I won't have the time to stream on YouTube tomorrow. But the day after tomorrow again for sure. I have now decided to finish the game. You know, do all the things that I have not done in my game yet and learn from this. So yeah. Hope you're doing alright too, bro. Thank you for joining. Partition the enemies into chunks. Okay, how do I do this? If I have that many chunks, then the chunk size is 100 by 100. Our grid size. Whatever. Is it the grid? That's the grid size, and then float chunk size is 100. This feels so far away. Am I the only one? Maybe my screen is just terribly positioned. Nah, okay, that fits better. I'm pretty sure this kind of partitioning is still O and squared TC, but I'm interested in seeing the result. Yeah, same. I don't know if I'll be able to do it today. Because it's already 40 minutes and I have barely done the first for loop. But I'll try my best. If not, we'll continue with that the day after tomorrow. At least I want to partition into chunks, and I want to make sure that they are... and then we can start working on our first update loop for enemies. Game data, this is enemy indices. Pretty long drive. Hope there's no traffic to get there faster. Yeah. Same. If we are unlucky, we are stuck for a couple of minutes. Which is why we have to drive so early. Because they literally close 3 hours later. From when we start. So we have like a padding of 1 hour. Okay. We need to take the enemy position and partition that. Oh god, this is another one of these problems. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is one of these problems. Oh no. It's so annoying because I can't just use my player's position. I can't just go relative to the... Or maybe I can. Relative to the player's position is my position. So I suppose the grid goes from minus 200 to 1800, 1100. That's where the grid goes from. And then we get the vec2 relative position, which is the enemy position. Game state player.position minus enemy. And I think I'll get the player position here. It doesn't really matter. Really, it does not matter. Player position minus enemy position is the relative position. And then we need to clamp that relative position to one of these numbers. What do you want to add, fix right now? Currently the game feels very laggy when I play. And we are going to add, we are adding in a, or we are trying to add in a partitioning spatial. I guess it doesn't look that laggy right now. But I want to improve the performance. And one part of the performance is spatial partitioning for the enemies. Meaning that the enemies only update in a 100 by 100 grid around themselves. And they no longer update against all enemies. Because it starts to get laggy when there's many units. Yeah, like currently, especially right now, you can see that it feels quite laggy. It's still above 60 FPS, but there's definitely something Yeah, that can be improved, and that's what I'm doing, or that's what I want to do. Yeah, and then after I have done the spatial partitioning thing. Oh god.
Do you know how to run Visual Studio Profiler?
Nah. You could measure the execution of your enemy update before and after the grid speed up. Yeah, I don't know how. I would have to do some timing thing. So I don't know how I would do that. I would have to write some sort of instrumenter, and I can't be asked to write one. I've written one for my game.
We can use that to test where the bottlenecks are. Performance test.
Yeah, but I can't be bothered right now. Like, I would literally have to do this. I would literally have to write an instrumenter. And I don't want to do this right now. I know it's going to be a performance increase. Yeah. I know it's going to be a performance increase. That's all. Especially when I merge all of these pickups into better ones as well. Look how many draw chords that is. Anyways, so that's the grid position. That's a relative position. I need to clamp that relative position to those, and then I get a grid index. I literally need to shift this relative position now. I need to add 200 to it. And then I need to clamp. Do I have a clamp value? And 1,300. Chunk size? Oh yeah, I'm not using the chunk size yet. I don't think I need that. You could measure the execution of your... You literally just drag the executable in Visual Studio. Dude, I can't be bothered. I know it's going to be an increase in performance. 100%. And the way we're going to measure that is by looking at the FPS in RenderDoc, because I literally have to do nothing for that. I'll just do a git commit when I have it done. And then I'll just use an old git commit to see the difference. Okay, so we have this relative position. We clamp that, and now we need to find the correct grid and put it in there. I don't know, 50 at most. Max grid enemies. Max enemies grid or chunk. int. Okay, I need to basically look at the code from yesterday to not make a mistake. That is the draw background code, where I take the player's position, then I divide by the tile set, and the first one, the X is the column. Okay, so that is the chunk column, which is the relative position.x divided by the chunk size. And that turns into an int. And the row is y. Okay, chunk column, chunk row. And then game state. World grid on chunk column. Right? Do I use column first or row first when I add that? I use the row first. Okay, the chunk row. And the chunk column is enemy ID. I think I have an ID on the enemy. Right? Yeah. Cool. I think that's it. For now, I'm just clamping. Oh yeah, dot add or something. Right? Enemy. It's not an array in that sense, right? Add is not a member of world chunk, world grid. Oh, I see. No, wait, it is the enemy ID. Oh yeah, wait, dot enemy IDs. Oh wait, we need to get the correct chunk. Wait, world chunk pointer WC is the address of this, and then WC dot enemy IDs on WC enemy. Wait, is dot add, right? Dot add. Enemy ID. Oh, it's called enemy indices. Wait, enemy indices. Enemy indices would be enemy PDX. Okay. Collector of stuff, Sage. Just wanna let Cakez know before he writes a full-on tracking thing. He should learn it next on YouTube stream at least. 30 seconds of work for a new way to profile the code. Guys, you have technology, right? You have technology, right? Why don't you make a 20-second video on how to do it and post it in Discord? If I'm going to try it out, it's gonna take me at least an hour to find out how to use it properly. And I just want, I can make a GIF. Yeah, you don't have to make a GIF. You can just start recording, make a very fast MP4 recording, and boom, post it in. As long as it's not too long. But I just don't want to look for, oh, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing that. I just get... At least not today, right? At least not today, because holy shit, I'm fucking tired and I... Okay, we are positioning the enemies into chunks now. And every time we go here, we also want to clear before we start partitioning them, right? Do we have a clear? No. Now we clear the array and we partition everything. Okay, let's try updating enemies. I'm pretty sure we might be able to get enemies, or get updating enemies done. Though updating the rest of the code is going to be much more difficult. Or maybe it is not. Maybe I should just do that for enemies. Keep working, bro. Hey, learn code, Drew. Good morning, bro. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, there are days where you have more energy. There are days where you have less energy. Today I don't have that much energy. Move the enemy. Draw. This is what we need to do for every chunk, I think. Desired direction. Enemy. This is the update enemy loop. Maybe I can help you somehow. I think I have everything I need to do. It's just that I need to process what I need to do. I need to write the code. And I need to think. Instead of going over all enemies, we need to start updating in chunks now here. Maybe we can start just writing the loop to see how far we can get. New partition update loop. For int. What am I updating first? The rows or the columns? Looks like columns and then rows. Hopefully I'm doing this right. World grid size. World grid size.x chunk column edx plus. That is the first for loop. And then the next for loop is chunk row index. Chunk row index and chunk row index. And another chunk row index. Cool. And this takes the y coordinate of this. Okay. For every chunk, we need to get a world chunk. I think we don't need to change the chunk. So WC is game state world chunks on chunk column index, I guess. It's just a brain fuck, man. Do I do rows first? It makes no sense. Literally, already this. Already the part that do I have the top left chunk? And if I'm looping over what am I looping? Do I have that correctly? Because it's an array of arrays, but you can see it. I think it depends. I think I need to use my brain. The first index is how many columns I have. So does it really matter? It matters where I'm putting them in, right? It doesn't matter here, but it matters up there. Partition. And when I'm partitioning, it matters here. Oh boy! I think I need to swap these around because the X position is how far am I to the left and to the right. Right? Unless I swap these around. But that should be X, that should be Y. So this is the columns and this is the rows. So this is wrong. What's up, hey Schumann, my man? You tired too? You're waking up later and later every day, bro? Ah! I'm sleeping less and less every day. Fuck, man. Yep. Gotta get that in order. Same. Me too. This is how many rows I have. Columns I have. The first one is how many columns I have. Because it's X. The coordinate X here. And so I can't use the row but the column index here. I need to use the column index because the column index is relative to X. So this must be the column. See, I already had a problem. Or a mistake. Now when I'm looping. Don't listen to me. I would swap the structure myself and do YX since normally in loops you loop over. Yeah. But yeah, maybe. But for now I have it like this. So we have X first. Which means that we grow our arrays down. Right? We have the first. We have columns. Right? We loop over columns. That's how we loop. And so we get our first world chunk, which is a column, which takes the column index. And then the chunk row index as the second. That would be the top left, and then the next one would be the top left, but one down. So we're literally updating like this. Top left, update chunks like that. That's how we are going to update. And now to the most difficult part. We need to find out the chunk's borders. Based on the player position. The chunk rect. That's what we want. Okay, we need the position, the top left position, and the size. I mean, the size is easy. It's 100 by 100, right? But the position is the issue. And that has something to do with the column and row index. And this is the chunk world position, I think. There's a difference here. Send you screenshots in Discord for when you wanna try. Okay, I'm not gonna open Discord right now, but I appreciate it. I'll look at them when I have a little bit more time and an open mind. Probably tomorrow, right? So I can think about it for the next YouTube stream, and then we can do some nice comparison on how long things take. If it actually works the way you guys are telling me to. Chunk word position. I think I can do the following. We know where the chunks start. Let's call it vec2 chunk offset. Oh my god. Vec2 chunk offset is vec2 minus 200. Right, we start at minus 200 and then we multiply that by the row and column count. Chunk column EDX and minus 200 times minus 200. No, that doesn't work. It's minus 200 plus 100 times the load chunk row index. That's what it is. And the same thing here. Minus 200 plus 100 f times load column index. I hate that I can't format this. I hate it. I fucking hate that shit. So that's the offset, and then the chunk world position is the game state player position, player.position plus the chunk offset. Now that is the world position, and then we have the rectangle of the chunk. And then now we get the... We need another for loop. Enemy EDX Wait, I was already partitioning them in the chunk. Why would I do this? I think I need this for the current chunk. And then I need to get all the surrounding chunks. Oh god, this is so difficult. Oh my god. Oh my god. How do I get the surrounding chunks now? So I am doing this. I have a screen. I have a bunch of chunks. I'm partitioning the enemies into chunks, and I'm trying to update the enemies in each chunk and the surrounding chunks. So I'm updating this enemy, and I'm updating the surrounding chunks with that enemy. And if like an area is too large, I need to update more chunks. And I think I can already see myself writing functions like a get chunk update range or something, where I supply a circle, or I supply a rectangle, or I supply a point. Yeah. Chunk enemy index. And so then I have enemy dx, and this can be used to get the pointer to an enemy. World chunks is not a member of game state. Is it not? World grid. What else? Enemies is not sure. That's enemy indices. Enemy index. Chunk enemy index. Chunk enemy index. I think it's here. And me. Enemy local variable. Okay, so we have the enemy now, and then we can start doing everything here. We do this. Then we checking for collision with player. That's good. Anything else? Push time. Move distance. Direction. Direction. Resolve collisions. So the resolve collisions part is something I have to... I don't think I will be able to do that today. That is a big part. Maybe I just don't resolve the collisions yet. I mean, I could put a part. I could just put it. I could just add it as part of this loop. I just don't. Call it yet. Then after I resolve the collisions, which I won't do, I move the enemy and I draw it. And if I use this loop right now, nothing should slow down or happen. And everything should be normal, except the enemies should not overlap. Or should overlap. If that makes sense. If I comment this out. And get rid of this entire enemy loop. The enemies should start to clamp together now. Because they are not... They don't spread. But the game should still run. I wonder. They don't move at all. Okay, man, but they're also not being spawned. Which is weird. Guys, I need to go to the bathroom. I wonder what happened. Weird. Be right back real quick. What happened to the enemies? Where are the enemies? I'm still drawing them. Am I not spawning anything? I'm spawning enemies, alright. I have no enemies. Interesting. Wait a second. Oh, I'm a dumbass. I'm a literal dumbass. Okay. Yeah. I was clearing the enemies instead of clearing the grid. I need to clear the enemy indices in every chunk. Clear all the chunks. All right. Now it should work. Okay. There should literally be no difference except the enemies can now overlap and collide with each other. Yeah. They do not push themselves out. And the game still lags, which is, I think that's because vertical sync and streaming for me just doesn't work together. Well, vertical sync and streaming doesn't work for me if I programmed the game. I have no idea why. If it's a debug build, vertical sync just causes constant lag for me. I have no idea why that is. But we can look at the performance in RenderDoc now. To have a difference from yesterday. So in this menu we have about 1200 frames per second. When we start the level we have about 1500. And as the enemies grow, there shouldn't be much that changes this. Oh wow. It just crashed. I wonder why. Does that happen here too? Interesting. Maybe I have too many enemies in one grid, and adding more enemies in that grid is impossible. Operator update level. Game set enemies. Index 50. Eh? Index less than count. Eh? I have 50 in here.
YouTube stream, nice.
Hey, Mr. Almeida, my man. Welcome, bro. Long time no see. Hope everything is alright. My man. How's New Year's? How was New Year's? Why? If there's literally one enemy that has an index of 50, I'll be match. There's literally one bat at index 50. Oh wait, I killed one. I see what happened. Ah. There we go. See all the chunks. This one. This is for the whip. So remove and swap. Wait, this enemy is okay. That's not good. That's enemies. That's okay. Active attacks, enemies. That's for chunks. I think now it works. Yeah, a lot of work. It was shit. See. Okay. Now it should all work. And we were just profiling this on RenderDoc. So let's do that. Continue doing that. And I think tomorrow I will do the collision. I will do the collision resolving thing. We get about 1,300 frames per second. We'll see what happens when there's more enemies spawning. It definitely slows down, but not as much. Because literally, yeah, it does slow down a bit, but not that much. Yeah, it's still 1,200, which is way overboard. And that's a debug build, right? Now it got down to 900. Now it crashed again. Okay, wonder what that was. I think I have to play here. Let me fix this real quick. Pickups. Pickup start. The if it's triggered times delta time 500. Capping the speed. Then this needs to be 10 times faster, so 5,000. But then I don't need the delta time in here. Or like this is some TCAP code here. 100 times faster, 10 times faster. It looks promising. Okay. Look how slow they move. You can outrun them. You can outrun the XP globes. Add element. Array is full. Yeah, a world chunk is full. That's what I thought. Everything is in top left. Wonder why. I hate how I can't see this! Why can I not see the column and row index? It's so annoying. Cause it's, I'm already, oh my god! Is that annoying? So bad! Sorry. I literally have to put in a shitty ass variable here. Sorry. Ah, pissing me off. I wonder if everything is put in one chunk. Or if it's just because if I'm moving to the right, then everything is in the top right chunk. Yeah. Looks like that's what happens. Chunk column 0? That's the row then. That's top right. What? Is this like literally... Eh? I have way more enemies here on screen. They are literally on the screen. Crystal just chasing you, yeah. Eh? It's putting everything in here. In the first one over here. In 1, 0. 0, 13. Oh, 13. There's a problem here. How did that happen? Relative position 1300. Really? Enemy has a position 5000. Oh, I'm clamping it. Of course. Player's position is 4700. Well, what do I do? Do I despawn the unit if the chunk is full? What am I supposed to do? At that point, I could just outrun units. I don't like that. I don't think you can outrun units in Vampire Survivors. I doubt that's possible. We could try real quick. But I don't think that's possible, especially bosses. We're going to play some Vampire Survivors and find out how he's handling that, and then we will come up with a solution.
Cakes, I just tried to take a shower without soap. After the shower, I had to go back in and use soap because I still smelled like boiled hot dog after it.
Error, there are no new items. Because I smelled like boiled hot dog after it, I had to use water. Oh my god. Well, I don't smell like that, so maybe that's a you problem. Sucks to be you. I don't have that problem. Fuck you. Crystal just chasing. Yeah, already read that. Debugging, Asen, and Collector. Cakes, what exactly are chunks now, and how are enemies assigned to them? Hello, PDF books. Welcome, bro. Chunks is this. And enemies are assigned to them based on their position. Chunks are rectangles relative to the screen, or rectangles in the world that move together with the player. If you want me to draw an entire image, I guess I could. I suppose I could. I think, okay, let's do this. We start with black. Then we draw, this is the entire map, okay? That's the map. Now we have the camera. Or let's say, well, over here is the player. Player is over here. Okay? Somewhere along the lines of, and we could also say, okay, over here is the zero thing. Yeah, over here is 0, 0 in the middle. And everything is relative to the player. Or everything is relative to this 0, 0 point. Okay, and then we have the camera around the player. Right, that's the camera. Or let's not call that camera, but that's the screen. For now, /camera. Right? Around the player. And then what I do currently, I create another grid around that. Those are the chunks. Okay. So I'm partitioning everything relative to the player into chunks. And so currently what my problem is...
What up? A bit late to YouTube, but had a coding problem I really wanted Quiet to solve Stoririv.
Oh man. Welcome, Asian Hops. Don't worry about it, it's all good. I'm glad you're here, hope you solved your problem, bro. Okay, and simply because it's you, I'm giving my very best to draw the grid as perfect as possible. Okay. Yeah, I have this grid. So now if we're talking about enemies. We're talking about enemies. Let's say enemies are the red dots, okay? Enemies. If the player moves in one direction, or let's not start with the problem. Enemies can be anywhere on screen, right? Around the player. Yeah? Okay, and so what I'm doing is I'm trying to separate, or I'm trying to put all of these enemies into these chunks. And so what happens is if there's a bunch of enemies outside a certain chunk, like over here, because I just moved in this direction in the top left. I was on the bottom right and I started moving to the top left. There's a bunch of enemies right over here. And what currently causes me a problem is I'm putting all of these enemies into this chunk, which is wrong. But I don't know what to do. Should I start despawning these enemies? Should I put them here? And so that's what I'm currently trying to figure out. And what I want to do right now in Vampire Survivors, I want to move in one direction when I see an enemy that I can recognize. And I want to move as far as possible as I can and then move back and see if the enemy just followed me. Or if I have to move back a long ass time to get back to the enemy as well. Wow, my game is still running. That's also a problem. That's what could have caused some issues with the Vampire Survivors game. Also single-threaded. And so for that, I started Vampire Survivors. Yeah. So moving in front of his position, closest otherwise. I need to wait for... I need to wait for the first boss. I need to wait until I can see the first boss, and then I'm going to run away from him. And I want to know if the boss is going to spawn in front of me or if he's just teleporting behind me the entire time. There should be a boss soon. Where are you shooting at? Where's the first boss? Oh, there we go. See, this one. This one right here. We're gonna move in one direction and see what happens. See, he's not coming up in front of me. But maybe he's gonna visit me when I turn back. So I have run away from the boss right now. What happens if I turn around now? I'm sorry, but he is still not showing up. To me, it looks like I was literally running away from him and I'm getting to him now. There he is. See that? Wait, did he just spawn here? Wait. Did he just spawn? There he is. He spawned up here.
Big retard player.
So it looks like if I run away from him, he's spawning to the left again. There he is again. I see. So that's what we need to do. Okay. And what about the crystals? What if I go back to the very beginning? Do I get my crystals then? Man, the game became so easy. Holy shit. I can literally run through these. I remember this being difficult. I've ever still in 30 minutes after that it summoned death. You need to use Frost Stay Near to escape them. What about those crystals? They seem to stay in their location. I suppose it just, if there's too many crystals, it starts merging them. There's the boss again. Did I just kill him? Okay, I think I killed him now. Interesting. Yeah. It looks like the crystals are not repeating. Wait, there's another boss. Okay, I see. Very interesting. Big tree. It may be good zone. Nah, I'm not. I don't wanna. I'm not playing. I'm programming actually the same game for fun. I just don't have sound yet. Also, yeah, we don't have sound, lol. We are programming something like this. Look how the crystals chase me. I think I need to increase the speed over time. Yeah, if there's too many enemies in one side, it creates a problem. And so it looks like I have to increase the grid and then make the enemies spawn in front of the player again. Do you develop the game? Not Vampire Survivors, but I'm developing a game like Vampire Survivors for fun. And this is what I'm developing right now, yes. So currently there is too many, I'm trying to add too many enemies in one chunk again. Which I don't understand why. Because they all spawn outside, I guess. Vampire Survivors chunks look slightly larger than Viewport, so he probably TPs to random place in the new chunk after moving the chunk, and you don't always see the boss due to Viewport size. Yeah, that could be it, yeah. Awesome. Is that Unity? No, that is just C++. We are just using good old C++ to make the game. And the game is open source. Anyone can look at it. Custom engine, yeah. It's mostly like an engine. Yeah, it's not really an engine. It's just a custom program. We could call it custom program. It's mostly I'm mostly doing this for educational purposes. People can look at this and see how you could potentially develop a game in C++ or in C. Maybe take away a couple of ideas and things. Okay, guys, I think what I will do tomorrow is choose a random... Which UI do you render? It's just a bunch of quads, bro. This is just a bunch of quads. I still do recommend reading up on quad trees. Oh, I know about quad trees. I know about them, but I don't think in this game they are needed. Because it's a small game. Look, that's how I draw UI. I can show you. It's just a bunch of rectangles drawn, so it's nothing special, you know. Where's the instance draw call? How do I really need to look at what I'm drawing?
2 render calls stare.
Yeah, it's just 2 render calls. Yeah. What am I drawing here? Is that my tile set? Are those the tiles that I'm drawing? I'm drawing too many tiles.
Why not one match?
Okay, bro. I can't see the output for instances, draw codes instances of textures? No way. Can you not see the output for instances? When I have... Wait, literally you can't? You can only see that here? Looks like I can't show you because it's not allowing me to. What's it drawing so much? There you go. Now we are getting to the rectangle. That's the rectangle that I draw for UI. This background right here. Sadly, I can't really inspect that too well. Yeah. Kinda cringe, but okay. All right, but okay, guys, I will think about how I can teleport the units. And then
Bye.
yeah, bro, Hazen, my man. Oopsie. I'll be online tomorrow on Twitch, not on YouTube. I won't have time.
Bye.
I will be online on Twitch, but not on YouTube. And then we continue on the game. I will not be able to stream on YouTube. Is what I wanted to say. Either way, GG. Yeah, but the chunk size limit issue. I think it's easier than quarteries. Okay. Anyways, I'll be online on Twitch, same time, same place. And then on YouTube 2 days from now. I don't have time tomorrow. Need to collect a bed from a different city. It's gonna take too long. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.